You know, I could easily make this video another one of my rant videos on like people that copy my stuff, but I'm not going to do that because I've already made them. They're already out there. If you want to watch them, they're available to you. This is going to be much deeper than that. This is going to be like a plea or like a request for us to change the way we think as a person. So Leonardo da Vinci, let's talk about him for a minute. He was a monumental figure during the Renaissance Revolution, and the cool thing about him, the reason you know his name in the first place and it hadn't died off with so many other names that have come and gone before us, is that he was a pivotal character in just like forward thinking. So much of what he did was just revolutionary. Like everything was new. He had so many inventions, he had so many paintings, he did so many things that changed the way we think to this day, which is incredibly impressive when you stop and think about it. Try and think of somebody in the current day and age that is like equivalent to Leonardo da Vinci, and nobody comes to mind. And a lot of that's simply because what we have available to us now is just, we're not going to have as much of a quantum leap as easily now as we did back then, because there's just so much to be discovered then. And there's so much to be discovered now, but there was a whole other level back then. But that doesn't mean we should stop creating things that are new. It doesn't mean that we should stop searching for, you know, something new. We live in a day and age now in which everything's already happened. Everything's already been. Everything's already there to begin with. Like if you pick up a mindset book that was written yesterday and you read that cover to cover, the messages are going to be very similar to what a mindset book that was written, you know, hundreds of years ago. Like the concept and the themes are going to be pretty much the same thing. You know, we live in a day and age now in which there is nothing new, so to speak. And there's a lot of truth to that. There's so many things that have been proven and work so great now. Why would you change what isn't broken? And I totally respect that. I mean, if something works, you know, you constantly want to be innovative. You constantly want to be discovering better efficiencies and things to improve upon. But at the same time, you have to kind of balance that out with the desire to not overcomplicate things that are already effective. And that's true with business, that's true with relationships, that's true with everything in life. I mean, there's so many things that have been tried and true and reliable that you can just use those. Unfortunately, that also means that a lot of what's out there currently in this day and age is easy to be just like, you know, replicated, and that is a good and bad thing. You know, I'm going to be logical here. Like, that's a good thing. Like, if there's from a business perspective, for instance, you know, like if there's like in real estate, if there's a tried and true method for, you know, fixing up a house, flipping a house, selling the house, you know, rinse and repeat in that process, why would you want to change and deviate too far from that? Like, if it's working, then keep doing it. The problem is we live in a day and age where there's so many effective principles and protocols currently into place that people have lost or weakened their ability to think and be creative and be innovative and be artistic and be new and fresh. And that is sad to me in a sense, because it's when you become that illustrates a form of complacency in my mind. And when you become complacent, you stop growing. So for me, I'm constantly looking at what other people have done that has proven effective, and I'm seeing what it is that I can improve upon or change or learn, even if it's a mistake. Like, what have they done that's wrong that I can learn not to do, you know? And that's good. Like, you want to be able to take what others before you have done and become better from it. But you don't want to, you know, take what somebody else has done and copy it exactly and then claim it as your own. That's not what I would recommend at all. That's just a complete lack of integrity and work ethic and creativity. But to bring this full circle, I just encourage people to think in an innovative fashion. when I made the keto brick, there was no, you know, nuts and bolts foundation that I pulled from some other food blogger or something. Like, that was literally me just trying a bunch of different things and figuring out what worked, and then manipulating it a million times, and then finding something that's solid and work towards my macronutrient goals. And the reason I can prove that it wasn't me copying it from somebody else is because the motivation behind making it was based off of my completely innovative approach towards contest prep dieting in the first place. Like, I'm a natural competitive bodybuilder. There's a whole bunch of natural competitive bodybuilders out there. When I did my competition prep, there was not a single natural competitive bodybuilder that I could find that had ever done it with keto using the protocol that I wanted to follow. So I made that from scratch. So the keto brick was founded off of that. My competition prep protocol was founded off of my trial and error. And I feel confident in saying, and I believe, that the two big things that I'm, like, you know, working towards or building and refining, being the keto brick and my approach towards body recomposition with a ketogenic diet, are pretty much my creation entirely. And I don't want to say that in a disrespectful way to people that have come before me, because there have been people that have been very innovative towards that. But, and there are principles that I've garnered from other natural bodybuilding, you know, prep coaches, such as, you know, decrease calories over an extended period of time, diet slowly, like stuff like that, like basic principles I've taken. But there was nobody before me that I knew, not to say there wasn't anybody, but there was nobody before me that I knew that I could call upon and glean this information from. That was strictly 100% my trial and error and refinement. And the same is true with the keto brick. And I'm saying all this not to put like a feather in my hat and speak all proudly of it. I am proud of it, but I'm saying this because it's such a fulfilling thing and just like a gratifying thing to be able to make and create and bring something innovative into the marketplace, into the community that other people can learn and benefit from. Like, I find fulfillment in that. I find so much more fulfillment in that than if I had found somebody else that was doing something, stolen it, and claimed it as my own. So human nature is as human nature is. You know, competition is as competition is. Business is business. But I'm making this video simply to encourage people as a whole to try and strive for more innovative thinking. Try and be creative. Try and do something outside what's been done in the past. Try and learn. Be fresh. Be artistic. Be new. Be creative. Yeah, that's all I've got to say about that. So there's my rant on creativity and bringing something new into this world. It is so much more fulfilling doing that than taking the shortcut of copying others. So be you, be unapologetically 100% you, and bring something into this world that only you can. And that's all I gotta say.